So you say you can't find the right mate and traditional dating just does not work for you? Well, Roseann Higgins might be just the person you need to talk to. Her company is called SPIES. It is out there for you, and she has a number of successes to brag about. Roseann, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, you're different than most dating services.
Yes.
Well, tell us about your approach.
A lot of well-meaning friends gave me some great advice. They were single professionals when I started out, and I wanted to know what their good and bad experiences were in the dating arena. They told me that they didn't like being only able to date a small pool of people, and I thought, well, how do I do that? A girlfriend of mine runs the third most successful Alpha Graphics in the country, and she's got a lot of experience. She asked a lot of her friends, and she said, Roseann, some of them will never join a dating service. And I thought, what if some of them are great matches for some of my clients? How do I put the two together? Well, what if I become a romance headhunter? Okay. So I created that where people hire me, and for a year I go out as their agent, finding men, women that are this tall, this short, this old, this young, this educated, these qualities, number of children, still wants children, smoker, non-smoker, and that's what I do.
Right, because a lot of these people who come to you, they're just too busy to go out and find a significant other, right?
They can get dates. I have some really attractive, fit men and women that want you to know they don't have any problem getting dates. But when it comes to getting the date that they want to go out with, they don't want to waste their time unless it's somebody they'd really enjoy the company of and potentially something that could work into a long-term relationship.
Okay, now you don't use computers or any of that kind of stuff. You
No.
actually go out, and how do you approach people to find out whether or not they're single and looking for somebody?
It's different depending on the situation. I'm a member of 5 chambers of commerce in the Valley just because I want to be known and supportive of the different communities, and I want to be known in the professional arena because people who are professionals, whether they're married or single, they know other single professionals who may be complaining to them about, gosh, it's so hard to meet somebody.
Well, let me ask you this. We've all tried to set somebody up at one time or another, and we've all had those situations where it turns out to be a disaster. How do you know when you meet somebody, oh, that person would be a good match for this person? What are those qualities that you look for?
I do an 8-page profile. It takes me at least an hour to interview somebody. There's not going to be just one thing that's going to say, this is going to be a good match with this person. And really, in the final, even after I clear all this criteria, it's not going to be until you really meet that person and they meet you. They've jumped through the gauntlet, through a lot of different hoops to get to you, and chances are you're really going to have a lot of fun with them. That's the reports that I'm getting back. But there's too many things that make for it, but what really makes for the best matches is when I can find exactly what both are looking for.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this. A lot of people are going to say, well, it makes me nervous going through a service or someone like yourself because I really don't know the background of the person. What do you do as far as background checks to make sure that this is an upstanding member of the community?
Everybody that becomes a client fills out a questionnaire with background information on it. It's an agreement between them and I, and it has information about drinking, whether they've ever been committed to a mental institution, whether they've had any DUI, has alcohol caused anything like loss of a license or things like that. So they actually have to reveal a lot of information about themselves.
So you do a lot of the background work that a lot of people would like to be able to do if they had access to when they first meet somebody. Mm-hmm. How often would you say a person comes through, how many dates do they have to go on before they really meet the person that they want to be with?
It ranges from, I had one female attorney, 30 years old, really attractive, hire me on a Friday. I talked to a gentleman. She wanted somebody athletic, tall. This guy's 6'4", very athletic, was a ski instructor, a professional investor. And what else did she want? She wanted neat, affectionate, communicative, caring, and daring, I think, adventurous.
These are all good qualities.
And on Sunday, I talked to a gentleman. They were introduced on Monday, and they started going out from there. But then I have somebody who's maybe a little bit more particular, 45-year-old who wanted a young 30s, and they're together.
If nothing else, you get to meet lots of great new people. Alrighty, thanks a lot, Roseann. And if you're interested in finding out more about this company, again, it is called SPIES, and the phone number is on your screen. That phone number is 957-7976. Thanks a lot for coming out for us today.
Thank you very much.
Mike?